Hi everybody, we're now here at the part 2 of this Cambridge exam. This part is really important to do because it requires you to really understand the language. Remember that the Cambridge exam, it is made to fail because they are going to benefit from it being hard and from you paying more money for it. So yeah, basically it's a really hard point to do. But here the thing is that you gotta have your grammar really well. We have a program to teach all of the grammar we need. We have actually books and lots of things for you to do this. But let's get into this. First, the first advice is to read really quick. If you can read really quick and understand what is going on, it will be really great. For example, the truth, nobody really knows how language first began. We all start talking at around the same time of the manner in which our brains have begun to develop. So for me, as a really good reader, I understand that we're talking about the origin of language, but not in history, but in our brains, or like the way we learn how to speak. Okay, I understand the text now. I know what it's talking about. The common thing and expression here is. The truth is. Here's the example. The truth is, nobody really knows how language first began. We will start talking around the same time, blah blah, of the manner in which our brains had begun to develop. Now, we know what it means, but now we gotta study a little bit the structure. Here you can be lost because it's really normal to not understand what's going on here. But we're going to see. They will start talking around the same time of the manner in which our brains have begun to develop. First we have the question here, and we have a did. Even though this is an inversion, and by now you should manage the inversions and understand really well the language, and you have to prepare this exam, it's really important to read lots of books, lots of text. So yeah, here, let's go. Did we all start talking around the same time of the manner in which our brains have begun to develop? We have a cause and an effect. This is the cause, and this is the effect. We start talking at the same time, blah blah, the manner our brains have begun to develop. Something really important to study are connectors. Here we have the cause and effect connectors. Because, since, consequently, thus, owing to, leads to, because of this. So we have because of this, for this reason, stems for, comes from. In this case it's quite easy because we have enough. So we can discard most of the cause and effect connectors. And basically the answer here is because. We all start talking around the same time because of the manner in which your brains have begun to develop. Okay, that's quite easy. Perfect. Let's go here. Although there is lack of clear evidence, people have come up with various theories about the origins of language. One recent theory is that human beings have evolved in a way that we are programmed for language from the moment of birth. So we're talking about evidence and theories about the origin of language and evolution. I really require you to learn really quick and understand what you're reading at the moment. You have to do everything at a glance, because if you cannot do it at a glance, it's lack of ability, and that will not be good for the exam. Normally, before doing the exam, we give lots of text to read in a C1 level and to understand what is going on. Like this last video I explained to you that you have to explain what you read, so you make sure you know what is going on there. Here it says one recent theory is that human beings have evolved in a way that we are programmed for language from the moment of birth. Okay, here we know that we need to talk about something particular because we're talking about ways. Now this is an A1 level theory. It's really easy. Maybe most of you know the answer now, but for the people who don't know it, let me just explain it. We have this little chart here between the difference between so much, so many, such, and such. We know that we use so for exaggerating adverbs and adjectives. For example, my brother is so stupid. We use so much for uncountables. For example, I have so much money. I have so much sadness or happiness. We cannot count emotions. And here is so many. We have so many fans. We have so many people. I love to be among so many, cakes. I love cakes. Here we could have such. We use such. This is optional. The parenthesis means optional. We have an optional adjective, and we use such with uncountables. Today we have such terrible weather, and actually it's really true, it's a terrible weather here in Ciudad Real. And here we have such also with adjectives and plurals. Oh, my girlfriend tells me such nice things. I'm so in love with her. Okay, that's really nice. But now we have such a. Such a is used with adjectives, optional, and the countable singular noun. Okay? We have countable things such as ways. One way or two ways of doing things. And in this case, way it's a singular word. I had such a party yesterday. Oh, my head, I had such a headache. I have a hangover. I was really tipsy at the beginning, but at the end I was just so drunk. Great, so let's go here. One recent theory is that human beings have evolved in such a way that we are programmed for language from the moment of birth. You see, we have evolved in a particular way or in such a way. Great, let's go. Here, more theory. In words, language came about as a result of an evolutionary change in our brains at some stage. We're changing here the explanation we're given. That's a big point about it. So basically, here we have the difference between another and other. Other, remember, is for plural, and another is for singular. I have another work, for example, or I have other problems to think about. You see? Singular and plural. Quite easy. Let's continue here. And I'm going to skip this whole thing for you to do it. But now I want to go here, that is the hardest thing. Sometimes in this exam you must do things in reverse. I mean, it's easier to start by 16 than to start by 15. If blah blah else, the language is a social activity, not something invented, blah blah isolation. This is quite easy. Why? We're talking about isolation. Remember that isolation is being alone and enclosed in a space that no one can access to. Now we have the prepositions of time and place. So we have in, on, and at. Remember that it is for general things, such as countries, cities, neighborhoods, and enclosed spaces. And for centuries, decades, years, and months, big time frames, you know? On is used for more specific things, such as streets, avenues, surfaces, means of transport, on a bus, or communications. I listened yesterday on the radio, and we use it for holidays and special days, in general days. At is used for hours, parts of the days, time, and holidays without day, for example, at Easter. And it is used also for specific locations. So I can be in the university, or you can be at Castilla-La Mancha University. It's different because Castilla-La Mancha University is a specific location for you. So basically here we have an enclosed space, isolation. If we go back, we know that this one is in, not something bent in isolation. If nothing else here, you see, because this is expression, if nothing else, we don't have any conditional here. Even though this is a conditional, we don't have to research for any conditional. This is one of the tricks they do. This is full of tricks and traps for you. But here's if nothing else, an expression. Now it's the time that you finish number 12, 13, and 14, and tell us in the comments below, how do you do it? What answers do you give? Even though we're going to leave the answers as always in the description below, and it will be really great if you leave us a like and you subscribe to our channel to see more advice like this. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.